Imagine being shot out of a biological torpedo tube, your mom into a prehistoric mosh pit. The dress code teeth. The main activity, aggressively avoiding becoming lunch. That's your grand entrance. You're a Pliosaurus, a freshly minted resident of the late Jurassic, early Cretaceous ocean. And right now, the term apex predator is about as accurate as calling a goldfish a shark. You're basically a floating hors d'oeuvre with an overbite, radiating the kind of delicious vulnerability that makes predators' mouths water. Life expectancy. Let's just say it's measured in successful escapes, not years. Think Mayfly with existential angst. No lullabies, no snuggles. No welcome to the world, little one banners. Just a face full of cold, salty water and the lingering aroma of ichthyosaur, a pungent reminder of mom's last meal. And speaking of mom, she's already off chasing the next buffet, leaving you with nothing but your instincts and a rapidly developing sense of impending doom. It's like being dropped off at daycare, but the teachers are giant squid with PhDs in how to devour baby plesiosaurs. And nap time is permanently canceled. The Jurassic Ocean, it's not for the faint of heart or fin. Your first few moments are pure, unadulterated panic. You're a giant, slimy tadpole with an overbite, thrashing around like a drunken toddler at a roller disco. You radiate primal terror, the kind that attracts predators like moths to a flamethrower. It's not exactly the graceful, dignified debut you might have imagined. More awkward flailing than majestic glide. Think of it as your very own personalized fail video set to the soothing sounds of the Jaws theme. Forget Where's Waldo. The only game in town is how to not become calamari. Stealth is a laughable concept when you look like a wriggling sausage with fins, desperately trying to perform the backstroke. Your camouflage skills are non-existent. You basically glow in the dark to a hungry Liopleurodon. Your swimming technique is best described as spastic, and your general vibe screams, I'm new here, I'm terrified, and I probably taste like chicken. Good luck with that. But hey, you've got instincts. Buried deep beneath that crippling fear and existential dread, there's a primal drive, a survival imperative screaming one thing, move. Swim, little Pliosaurus. Swim like your life depends on it. Because spoiler alert, it absolutely does. Swim like you're being chased by a pack of hungry sharks with anger management issues. Because let's be honest, you probably are. Those first few weeks are a brutal montage of near misses, desperate escapes, and the dawning realization that the apex predator title isn't just handed to you. It's earned through blood, sweat, and a lot of terrified flailing. You're like the unpaid intern of the Jurassic Ocean, starting at the very bottom of the food chain and working your way up one panicked gulp of seawater at a time. Every shadow is a predator, every ripple a potential obituary. You develop a sixth sense for danger, a finely tuned radar that can detect a hungry shark 3 reefs over, gnawing on a plesiosaur and thinking, what's for dessert? It's not paranoia, it's situational awareness. Your diet is simple, anything smaller and slower than you, which isn't saying much. The limits are your go-to snack, the Jurassic equivalent of potato chips. You learn to appreciate the small victories, the satisfying crunch of an ammonite shell, the pure, unadulterated joy of outswimming a creature that was definitely planning on having you for lunch. You're not a gourmet, you're a survivor. Think Bear Grylls, but with fewer inspirational speeches and more biting. Then, puberty. Forget acne and mood swings. Pliosaurus puberty is like being injected with a cocktail of liquid aggression, territorial rage, and the sudden, horrifying realization that you're not just in the food chain. You are the food chain, a long, convoluted mess of teeth and terror. Finding a decent hunting ground is like trying to find a parking spot at the mall on Christmas Eve. It requires cunning, a complete disregard for personal space, and the willingness to use your teeth as bumper cars. You explore, you scout, you engage in territorial battles that make professional wrestling look like a friendly game of tiddlywinks. These aren't polite disagreements, they're underwater death matches with a strict no rules, no survivors policy. Except you, hopefully. You learn to judge your opponents instantly, calculating the risk-reward ratio of every encounter like a seasoned poker player. Discretion is the better part of valor, especially when valor equals becoming a Liopleurodon's late-night snack. Finally, after accumulating enough near-death experiences to make a stuntman quit and become a life coach, you find it, your perfect hunting ground. A secluded lagoon, a hidden cove, a stretch of ocean that's like the prehistoric equivalent of a beachfront mansion. Plenty of prey, minimal competition, and a view that's, well, it's mostly water. But it's your water. You mark your territory with a scent that's a unique blend of keep out and seriously. I'm not kidding. And then there's procreation. Finding a mate in the Jurassic Ocean is about as easy as finding a decent signal during a solar flare. It involves a lot of swimming, a lot of awkward underwater sniffing, which is even weirder than regular sniffing, and surprisingly, a lot more biting. Pliosaurus romance. Think less candlelit dinner and more underwater demolition derby with the possibility of offspring. Courtship is less romantic comedy and more nature documentary narrated by Werner Herzog on a bad acid trip. It's a brutal ballad of bites, chases, and displays of dominance that would make a honey badger say, "Dude, chill." You're not looking for the one, you're looking for someone who can survive being bitten repeatedly and still produce viable offspring. Love is fleeting, sharp teeth are forever. You see, those Plesirs evolved live birth. Why lay a bunch of eggs on some beach just to have them get turned into an all-you-can-eat pterodactyl omelet bar? Live birth meant higher survival rates for the little nippers. And frankly, being an aquatic reptile, going ashore seems like a lot of effort. Details of Pliosaurus growth and lifespan remain shrouded in the mists of prehistory, but we can be fairly certain their lives revolved around getting big fast. After all, in the eat or be eaten Jurassic buffet, size definitely mattered. You find a mate, you fight, because that's how Pliosaurs say I love you. You procreate. Then, in a move that would make even the most irresponsible bachelor look like father of the year, you vanish. No co-parenting, no awkward postcoital conversations, just pure, unadulterated instinct. Your job is done. Time to move on to the next buffet. Life at the top is both exhilarating and soul-crushingly boring. You're the undisputed king, or queen, of your little underwater kingdom. You've got a prime hunting ground, a reputation that would make a megalodon nervous, and enough scars to earn a Lifetime Achievement Award in surviving the Jurassic. But let's be honest, even being an apex predator can get repetitive. Hunt, eat, sleep, defend your turf. It's the Jurassic equivalent of a desk job, just with fewer emails and more opportunities to dismember things. But alas, nothing gold can stay. Your invincible hide, not so invincible anymore. Your teeth, a little chipped, a little worn like a well-loved butter knife. You're like a classic muscle car, still impressive, but definitely showing some mileage. You've traded speed and agility for cunning and experience, but Father Time is coming for you, and he's brought a pack of hungry young plesiosaurs with him. Those brash youngsters can smell your impending obsolescence from a mile away. They circle your territory like hungry real estate agents, eager to snatch up your prime hunting grounds and turn them into trendy condos for the upwardly mobile plesiosaur crowd. You're no longer the alpha, you're last season's news, a faded meme in the vast ocean of prehistory. The final showdown is inevitable. A younger, faster, stronger Pliosaurus arrives, challenging you for your throne, your territory, your very right to exist. It's a battle worthy of a Hollywood blockbuster, a clash of titans that shakes the very foundations of the reef. You fight with the cunning of a veteran, the desperation of a dethroned king, but it's not enough. Youth, as they say, is wasted on the young, except when it's used to brutally depose you and steal your lunch. You're defeated. Exiled from your kingdom, you're forced to wander the desolate depths, a fallen king reduced to scavenging scraps. You're a cautionary tale, a grim reminder that even apex predators have an expiration date. Your story is less epic saga and more cautionary tale whispered in hushed tones around prehistoric campfires. Your end comes, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Perhaps you become a meal for a gaggle of scavengers, a final, ironic humiliation. Or maybe you simply fade away, your strength and spirit extinguished like a dying ember. Your bones sink to the ocean floor, joining the countless others. A silent testament to a life lived at the top of the food chain. A life that, in the end, amounted to just another layer of sediment in the vast, indifferent tapestry of the Jurassic Sea. But the ocean doesn't care. The ocean doesn't mourn. The ocean just is. A vast, indifferent expanse of water that has witnessed countless births and deaths, countless rises and falls. It's the ultimate reality show, and you, my friend, were just one season star. And somewhere, in the murky depths, another Pliosaurus is being born, ready to take your place, ready to begin the same brutal, absurd, and strangely beautiful journey. Because the show must go on, and the ocean abides, and it's always hungry. And it's starting to get really annoyed with all these repetitive storylines.